we're back!
Yes,
it is
we
I,
are.
Cocia. I am your storyteller tonight. I'm lying.
We can make that happen.
Oh, we can.
We should make that happen. One shot. Cocia's running a one shot.
Yeah. No.
Damn it, I shouldn't have said anything.
All right. Sorry. Welcome back. It is us again. Thank you for joining us. I'm going to be your storyteller again. Possibly going to be changing in the future, maybe. For here and there. Anyway, we'll get to that later. I'm Dengle. Joining me tonight.
I'm Cocia, and I play Beth, the Brewhog.
I'm Nenavar. I play Stephen, the Mocavian.
It's your turn.
Hi, I'm Buttons, and I play Shiloh the Salubri.
I'm Feyla, and I play Tory the Gangrel. We go in alphabetical order, remember, Buttons?
No, I don't remember. I've been thinking of many other things.
Yeah. I get that, I promise. Anyway. So last time we joined our rowdy gang, you played Santa Claus of sorts.
Vampa Claus.
However, a couple other things happened. Tory officially decided to announce that I'm going for the barony.
Nothing can go wrong there, guys.
Shiloh was finally fully outed as a Salubri. Unicorn, Third Eye, Soul Eater. All of the above. Stephen met his sire. Found out that she's about as paranoid as he is. Almost. And not a whole lot happened with Beth. Which is probably a good thing.
We need to calm
So-
this storm.
Something like that.
I mean, if you guys would all just, stop being so paranoid, everything would be fine, and it'd be good. You'd see.
So, before we get into tonight's events, there's something that I'd like to read. Buttons, would you please hold up the book that this is from? Because we actually have, printed Book of Nods. It's great. Something that, I got looking at it the other day. First off, it's really cool. If you want to, check it out, please do. Not an advertisement because, they got their own stuff. But I would endorse it. Anyway, if you read through here, it actually gives a pretty good, what happened, all that fun stuff. But at some point in here, it starts talking about Gehenna and the end of days and all that other fun stuff. And I'm not going to read one for one, and I'm actually not even going to get close to reading one for one. I'm going to kind of paraphrase as I see fit. Basically, it's when Thin Bloods become a numerous breed, and they all start taking over the generations and the clanned ones. The antediluvians, the old ones, the elders, the Methuselah, all of the above. We'll come back and try to finally put the Thin Bloods to rest. Now, reason why I'm saying that is because if we remember, Tory and her friends have all gotten quite the collection of Thin Bloods, of clan lists. Beth's got a couple running in her shop. Tory's got a dog sitter. Steven's got a hookup for food, I'm sure. And Shiloh doesn't really have a whole lot going on yet. But I'm sure there's something in the mix for that. So, might be worth remembering. Maybe some old ones will show up and be like, stop it. Or maybe there's other things going on. Anyway, we're going to kind of jump right into it. Cocia?
Yes.
What has Beth been doing for a week and a half, give or take?
Okay. For the past week and a half, she would have been continuing to work on the truck, starting to throw out a little bit of feelers to Gramps to see if how he feels about possibly living a little bit longer in a different way. And at some point she would have gone over and talked to Winky Wink, since that is the only other Brujah she knows to try to, understand clan stuff. Though something tells me his clan stuff is probably a little bit more melee based than face based like she has. Am I correct in that assumption?
Okay.
Okay. And also would have been talking to Tory, try to start understanding things better. Probably have a few things click together, be like, oh yeah, I remember being told this now. That kind of stuff.
Okay, so let's go ahead and start with the first one on that. The truck. Can I get you to roll me a wits and technology?
Or let me double check what those would be for me. GPA browse check.
Not yet.
Not yet, okay. Wits and technology, sir?
Yes.
Okay.
The reason why we're not going with intelligence is because I don't think that you need to be particularly intelligent to fix a vehicle, but you do need to have some wits about you. Trust me, I live in Alabama.
2 successes.
Okay. So you find some minor stuff that you overlooked the first time. You get it taken care of before it's going to cause major issues. You look through the rest of it and don't really find anything major. There's a couple spots of rust here and there, a couple spots that you're going to have to do some metal work, but nothing too crazy. As far as the Gramps thing, how in depth are you going? You are on mute. You're on mute.
Of course I am. I'm sorry. I'm talking like la-di-da-di-da. I'm sorry. Just not very in depth. Just like putting out fillers. Like, would you want to live longer? If there's like a chance for you to beat cancer, would you do it? Just baby fillers.
He would be receptive to the whole if you could live longer, and like beat cancer and all that fun stuff. He would be like, yeah, I mean, anybody wants to live longer. And frankly, I would like to be able to like do other things with my possessions rather than give them to my kids because they're awful. But I mean, it doesn't look very good for me.
Okay. I mean, that makes sense. That makes sense. I talked to Tory. Really important. I don't know how to do this.
And then as far as the last thing, reaching out to Wink, he doesn't give you a whole lot more than what Barney gave you. As far as like, if you mess up, fix it. Don't tell people. Don't show people. Don't do X, Y, and Z. As far as clan-specific things, It basically was like, yeah, I mean, we tend to be either the my daddy can pay for everything, so I just say screw the man, or we're like a odd like subculture that nobody really wants to accept, and we still say screw the man because screw the man. We do our own thing. We're less wild than the gangrel, but more rebellious, if that makes any sense.
Right. Now that makes sense. All right, thanks, Winks. I appreciate the little heart to heart.
Not a problem. How's the stuff going on along?
We'll be back later and put on a nice big show for you. I think the kids will enjoy it.
Okay. I'll be looking forward to it.
I hope you do.
Now, since Cocia's stuff is usually fairly quick and easy, Steven, what would you be doing for a week and a half, give or take?
Mainly continue working at the butcher shop. Try to look more into Cyril's blood bank connections. Try to figure that out.
Okay. With that one, give me an intelligence and investigation, please.
Three successes.
Okay. So you do get some information that's actually useful. It looks like every time they take stuff out, they go through a specific tunnel that is supposed to lead almost directly underneath the football stadium. From there, it gets on a truck that sometimes it changes, but it's a box truck, it's refrigerated. Normally, the side of it says Enos Medical Company. Sometimes it just says U-Haul. Yeah. But most of the time it's Enos Medical Company. And that is spelled E-N-I-S. No jokes, please.
No. Why would we do that?
Oh, I don't know. Alright. And actually, that would probably take up the majority of your time just getting that piece of information. So buttons. Besides healing from burns, which we will be rolling for, what would Shiloh like to be doing?
Okay, so aside from healing and replacing the stash as usual, downtime activities this week would include pre-ordering one of those fancy schmancy curved monitors to deliver to Franny when she's ready to pass on the information that was requested, and just kind of assisting with projects around the sprawl as needed, and also start researching the legalities and the permits needed to open up a clinic / needle exchange kind of thing near the sprawl once
Okay.
they get domain stuff going.
So for that last one, give me an intelligence in politics,
Okay.
because there's a whole lot of politic crap.
Okay. I got 2 successes.
Okay, so beyond the normal, like you need a business license, you need this, you need that, they would require some form of, like, if you're going to do like a needle exchange, some form of like contract saying this is how I'm going to get rid of them, because normal stuff. As far as the rest of it, it's pretty straightforward. There's not a whole lot that you need besides the facility, like an actual physical location, some sort of business plan that you are supposed to submit to get like permits to do all this, and then the last being funding, which I feel like that's probably the easiest of the three.
Does she get a goal that she can work towards, funding wise?
That is kind of variable depending on exactly what you want to do, how extensive you want to go with it.
Okay, we can talk details a little bit later then.
Yep. And then, last but not least, because Tory always has a list and a half.
I am sorry. I think this is my shortest one yet, though.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Trust me. We talked about some of it already.
Yes.
However, inform these.
So Tory is going to be looking at and getting a an old garage that she's going to turn into a kennel / training thing for dogs.
Yes.
For a little bit of passive income, and so she doesn't have to keep like 12 dogs in this little apartment that she has. Well, not little, it's a medium-sized apartment, but still too small for that many fucking big dogs.
Yeah.
Did we get new additions, or are they still to come?
You would have new additions.
Kaja had her 6 puppies.
Yeah, all of the puppies.
All of the puppies. That makes 8 puppies right now.
Yep.
That's why I needed a bigger spot. We did talk a little bit. Tori's current haven, once she gets the new one, will become the meeting place for everyone. So, because everyone knows where Tori lives, apparently. That's okay.
Yes.
And then she, for a good chunk of the time, has kind of been holed up on her own, not ignoring everyone, but taking a lot of time getting back to anyone if they reach out to her, doing her own things.
And with that particular thing, go ahead and give me an intelligence and science roll.
I have a specialty in genetics.
Yep.
So that would work for that?
Yep.
Okay. And then I get...
Technically speaking.
With the surgery, it adds 2 dice to relative pools. So it's up to you, but they're typically medicine ones.
I will give you one of those 2.
Okay.
Because it is relative adjacent, not necessarily directly to.
Okay.
So it's close, but not close enough.
Pretty decent pool here.
Just 14, right?
That's frustrating. Only 4 successes.
Okay. Mark that down. You will need a total of 10 to get something special.
Okay. Cumulative, I'm assuming?
Yes. Because this is an ongoing project. As far as your other thing, getting the garage and getting all that fun stuff, to go along with what Shiloh was looking into, you'll need permits, you'll need like business license, you'll need stuff like that if you're going to use it for that particular purpose. Otherwise, as we discussed earlier, there are tax properties that the business owners are more than willing to just give to you, basically, if you just pay their taxes.
Okay, she can work on the getting the business stuff of it later. She's more concerned over immediately having a place to stay with all of the new dogs and everything.
Yeah.
And moving everything, which she would ask Beth probably to help driving with, because she has a lot of books to pack up.
Yes, she does.
Yeah,
and
sure,
I would,
sure. Let's talk about things while we move things. Yeah, that's okay, right?
Sure. Yeah, we need to have Injured 101.
Yeah. I'm surprised that Red thought that you were the newborn instead of me, because, like, I didn't know anything.
Me
I
too.
played it off like I did.
Yeah, it wasn't. I'm not a good liar.
Alright. So, as far as everything else is concerned, though.
Yeah, there's other stuff, of course.
Location for the garage, you would want to stay in the sprawl or no?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Ideally not super far from where she is now, but within the sprawl at least.
Yeah. Probably about a 10-minute drive, 20-minute walk type idea.
Maybe more towards the center of the sprawl.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then your other stuff, which slips my mind at this particular second.
Meeting with Barney, delivering the gifts for Wink. Need to talk to Victor about seeing if we can talk him into funding a playscape. Probably doing that through Kamari. Talking to Kamari for a minute about that first through text and all of that. Hang on, I'm scrolling. Maybe do the meeting with Donte, not sure if we're doing that one yet. And then talking to Cameron and checking on her other 2 touchstones.
Okay. So, the playscape. You kind of go back and forth with Kamari, and he's like, yeah, just give me a little bit. I got to talk to him, try to talk him into it. I'm sure I can. Other people, probably not so much. So, there's a chance. And it's something that Kamari is going to have to roll himself. So,
That's fine. Tory figured it would be easier to do the playscape than to have presents.
Yep. The extra presents, that is definitely doable.
So
It doesn't have to be anything super like extravagant. It's just stuff.
Figured that as a coterie we could each pitch in a couple hundred and get some really nice stuff for them, because it would be Tory's first foray into all of that stuff. Plus she really wants to get that agreement rolling with Wink, because she's not sure what Victor's going to do.
Okay. So yeah, no, you can absolutely do that.
Also, Beth is gonna do something a little over the top. Just a smidgen. Gotta get the dogs all like little Santa hats.
Okay, we're not bringing all the puppies. It would be...
I didn't
So-
say all. I said dogs, not puppies.
The delivery would be done via dog and wagon, Blitz and Tory in her dog form, because not many people know she can do that.
Yeah.
And it's less scary to have a scary dog than a scary person around children.
Yeah, and the females are, still puppying up.
Yeah. So they would be pulling wagons full of toys.
Okay then. The entire
We
time,
don't know how to
Blitz
do
is
things
just
calm
like-
and simple, okay?
yeah. The entire time, Blitz is like, "This is stupid. We should go home." If Tori is doing that with him,
Yeah, actually she can.
yeah, I know.
She can.
As far as Cameron is concerned, how in depth are you going initially?
Well, she's just gonna probably lay it all out on the table.
Okay.
Demonstrating with whatever she needs to, feral weapons, blush of life, anything like that. And if he doesn't want to do it, she will take drastic measures to protect herself and the masquerade.
Okay. So first and foremost, give me a rouse check for that entire display.
I actually succeeded.
Okay. And then give me, and you're gonna hate this roll, charisma
Yeah, I know.
and persuasion. Yeah.
Oof, that's a rough one.
Yeah. How many do you roll?
2.
Okay. Add one.
Unless I can rouse the blood or charisma.
I mean, I said no in the past, but I was wrong. You can technically do that. So yes.
Yeah, rouse check for that.
Yeah, rouse check for that.
I failed
And
that
you
one.
get the next one.
So I have.
Okay, so you're at 1 hunger.
I'm hungry again. Okay, so that actually brings me up to a pretty decent pool there. Especially if you're adding one,
Yes.
because I'm sure it's no surprise at this point, Tory has a high blood potency.
Yes.
Five successes. Every single one of them was a success.
Okay. So at first he is horrified. Then he's like, "You want something that might actually be useful? We could probably do this. I mean, it doesn't hurt, right?
No.
And all it does is just make me faster, stronger, and more durable, right?
You'll also be able to see in the dark.
Oh, that might be useful, actually. Yeah, let's do this. What's the worst that can happen?
Who knows? She will actually also explain the blood bond to him. And what is going to happen to him as part of that whole conversation.
Yeah, he seems to not care.
Okay.
He's like, it might help me run my bar better. Take care of the issues that might arise.
Okay. Then yeah, she's going to get a ghoul.
Alright, so you got a human ghoul now.
Do you want a rouse check for that one?
Yes, please.
I think.
So now you're at 2. Be careful now.
I know.
However, you do have Cameron as an actual ghoul, as a resource that you can use.
Do I have a stain?
So, because of exactly why you did that, to keep a touchstone safe. Normally, yes, you would. However, in this particular case, because it is in the best interest and you went with the consensual route, rather than you're going to do this, you're fine.
Okay.
As far as your other touchstones, they seem to be going about their day. Nothing's any different than any other day for them.
For who?
Your other touchstones.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Which we kind of hand wave over that one.
Yeah, well,
However,
she doesn't actually... She has a way to get contact one of them. The other one's a little bit up in the air. I'm not sure how she knows where they are currently.
people watching in on them as you ask.
Okay.
It's a $200 check-in charge.
Sure.
Yeah. Figure that's the easiest way to do that. However, I believe Beth wanted to talk to Tory about something. Relatively
Oh.
similar to what Cameron had done to him.
Yeah. Uh-huh. So, after we're done moving, Beth will be like, okay, I really like this old guy. Sold me the truck. I kind of want to ghoul him, but I don't know how to do that or how to really bring it up. Also, he has brain cancer, so I don't know how that'll affect things either. But he doesn't like his kids, and he doesn't want to like just leave his stuff to his kids. So, yeah, I don't know. I want to ghoul him.
And you don't know what blood bonds are, right?
Not really. I know whenever I was... Okay, so I talked to Wink, too. And, I think I kind of understand some of my stuff better, especially after that talk we had while we were actually moving things. You know, some of the things kind of clicked in my head. So, I have this ability to make my bonds kind of last longer. It's like a lingering kiss type thing.
Oh, okay. I don't have much experience with that one.
Oh, well, you know, that's fun. It'll be fine. Oh, good. Oh, good. I can't remember
It shouldn't
how
work that much
works.
differently than normal, though.
Probably not.
I think that just means you have to feed them less.
Okay, good. Yeah, cool. Yeah, it's one of my, like, disciplines. They kinda-
Disciplines?
But they also kind
you
of
mean
become
merits?
addicted to blood. No, it's a discipline.
Oh. I don't actually know what that one is.
Victims
Yeah.
fed upon your blood become addicted to the kiss, obsessing over it, and even seeking out the vampire for repeat feedings.
That can happen with blood bonds, too. You might want to be careful with that one. Should be fine, though.
Okay.
They will become more and more obsessed with you the stronger the bond gets.
Yeah, I try not to use it very often. Because it feels manipulative.
So, I don't suggest it, but there is ways that you can ghoul people without furthering the bond. You should keep it going a little bit, just to make sure everything stays good. When the vitae stays out of the body long enough, it loses its properties to bond people.
Right. That makes sense.
To ghoul him, he needs to drink some of your blood. Don't drain him first, though. That's how you create a vampire.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because I'm pretty sure that's what my sire did to me.
Yeah. You basically have to be on the cusp of death, and then it's a thing.
Yeah.
Don't drain him.
Process.
Just
I
feed
was
him some
planning
blood.
Okay. But with him having cancer, how's that going to affect? You know?
It's not going to cure it immediately.
Okay.
So,
like if he's got treatment.
yeah. As the cells die, they theoretically should be replaced with healthy cells.
Weird.
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay. Alright.
Mind you, I have zero actual experience with this. This is just a guess.
Oh, come on. You're basically a doctor.
I'm not. Really. But, you know. Sure.
Okay. So how do I, like, broach the subject with him? Should I just, like, rip off the Band-Aid?
Well, that's what I did. However, you have to have a way of dealing with the fallout if it doesn't go well. In which there's multiple options you can go with.
Yeah, the probably easiest would be to kill him, but I don't really want to do that. He's a sweet old guy.
Or bond him
Oh,
against his will.
actually blunt. Yeah, I didn't say kill him. I would never do that.
If you do, you know you'll know what it feels like to not be hungry. Probably.
Yeah. All right. Good. All right. I've been spending a lot of time with him and putting out little fillers. So he seems receptive to it. So fingers crossed.
I just recently had to do this, so if you want me to, I can rip the said band-aid off if you want.
I mean, if you want to come over and hang out sometime, and kind of maybe second set of eyes could fill for him, see if I'm crazy or not.
Sure.
All right. So I'm gonna kind of do the same way that I did with Faye.
Okay.
Charisma and persuasion.
Okie dokie. Charisma and... I'm sorry. I just... persuasion. And because Beth is beautiful, she gets an extra die.
Nice.
Huh?
Nice.
Oh, yes, nice.
Tory will stay out of the way for that one. I forgot that Obvious Predator gives me a -2 dice pool to putting mortals at ease.
Yeah, but Cameron,
Yeah,
you were getting that one.
he's probably been around her enough, but the old guy has not.
Yeah.
Oh, I did awesome. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 successes.
Yeah, so same pool as what Tory got. He seems a little bit more hesitant, and he doesn't really believe you at first, because he's like, "Oh, vampires aren't real, and werewolves aren't real, and ghosts aren't real." And what the next thing you're going to tell me is there's some grand conspiracy that all of the powerful people in the world are reptiles or something, right?
I don't think that's true. But sure. Beth will flex a little bit, and let's see here. I can make him drawn to me, or I could just be super ninja with my rapid reflexes.
And he's like,
The two easier ones to show off with.
he's like, I mean, if you're a vampire, okay, then why haven't you like eaten me yet? And I thought that the whole like vampire thing, like you bite somebody, they turn into a vampire.
Nope, that's not how it works. It's a whole process. I haven't eaten you yet because you're not one of my people that I feed off of. I ask people for permission before I feed off of them. It's how I like to do things. And I'm sorry, what was the other thing? I'm blanking. I'm sorry.
The whole like biting people and they turn into a vampire.
Yeah, no, turning into a vampire is a whole process. You have to be completely drained of your blood and then fed blood. It's messy and it takes a lot of time. It doesn't always work.
So what you're saying is we're gonna not worry about the draining part. It's gonna be just feed me, and that's something that I just gotta figure out how I'm gonna do. And then we'll see what happens from there. And it might make me feel better.
What should happen is, as you continue your treatments will actually work more effectively, killing off the cancer cells. It's theoretical, though. I don't actually know. Not many people I know. Fool someone that's as sick as you, no offense. But I really, really like you. I want to be around. You're like the best grandpa ever. Although you're not technically grandpa age for me. That's okay.
Yeah. If you don't mind me asking, exactly how old are you?
How old am I? Let's see here.
Yeah.
probably be like more closer to your younger sister. I was born in 1960. I'm 62-ish, I think.
Okay. So yeah. So you're telling me you're 10 years younger than me.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't believe that, but I mean, at this point, I'm willing to try damn near anything. So fuck it. Let's do it. Let's see these fangs. Why don't we?
No, she's just gonna cut her wrist and beat him some blood.
And he kind of takes it and he looks at it and he's like, "This is weird as hell." Beth, please make me a rouse check.
Yes, sir. That's a fail. That's 3 now.
Okay. So your beast is like, just eat him before he drinks it. Just do it. Do it. Do it.
Can't do that. He's a nice old man. We cannot eat him.
Sure we can. He's right there.
No. We'll call one of our people. We'll call the nice girl that always smells like lilac. We haven't fed on her in a while.
I like the chubby one that always makes cookies.
Oh. They'd probably be okay to put on too.
Uh-oh, did we lose a Dengle?
Maybe. Hopefully not, but maybe.
Oh no. Summon him back. Summon him back.
Use the blood sorcery to summon him back.
Tremere shit. Let's go.
What the fuck happened?
Blood for the blood god.
I don't know what happened. I'm sorry.
It's all good. It was probably a cat fault.
We can
I saw
hear
a
your
cat.
voice, but we cannot
Asshole.
see your beautiful face.
Correct.
I'm okay with not seeing it.
Wow, rude.
Should be coming back.
You know what we do with the rude? We eat the rude.
Yeah, we.
Oh my god! Venture idea.
Yeah. Sorry. Cat apparently made my computer freak out. That was fun. Anyway, back to the conversation. So, old man drinks it reluctantly, and he has a very difficult time getting it down. He gets kind of a little bit woozy. He's like, "I'm just gonna go lay down on the couch."
Sweet dreams. Night night, Gramps.
Yeah. And he goes, lays down on the couch, and you continue on about your day. He wakes up, and
Tory will check on him to make sure he's not, like, dying or something.
give me an intelligence and medicine.
Two successes and a skull.
Okay. To you, it kind of looks like he's getting just a little bit younger. Not a whole lot. Just a little bit.
Okay.
Anyway. Night continues on. He wakes up in about an hour and a half. Seems to be walking a little bit straighter. Whereas he had like snow white hair, he's got a little bit of like actual gray in there now.
Look at you being a silver fox, Gramps. How you feeling?
Better? Weird. I haven't actually felt like this in over 15 years.
Good, good. Take it easy, though. You know, nice and easy.
Yeah. Yeah, if you don't mind, I'm gonna head home.
You do that.
I've got some stuff I want to take care of.
Do you need any help?
No, it's fine.
Okay.
And he heads on home. Now, since we have all of that out of the way, can we have everybody make me a rouse check?
Failed.
Succeed.
Okay, so Steven is at 3.
I succeeded.
Shiloh is also at 3.
Ooh. So everybody starts out at 3. Well, sorry, almost everybody starts out at 3.
Is Beth at 3? I thought she was at 2.
Nope, she's still at 3.
I missed that one.
I failed the rouse check while cooling Gramps.
Ah.
Although got to go get Cookie Lady to feed off of.
So, it's new night, new happenings. January 1st is coming past. Nobody really did anything too special. I mean, it really depends on what you mean that special is. Anyway, you are going about your business, your normal business, your personal business. And we forgot to do something. Thank you, buttons. I would like to have rouse checks for you.
Okay, how many do I need to do here? I don't have the thing off the top of my head.
You had 4 aggravated.
4 aggro, baby.
Yeah. So it is quite a lot. You might be juice boxing halfway through it.
I assume I
fine.
will be. Considering I'm already at 3 hunger, I probably will be if...
So, let me go ahead. Get this taken care of. I know 1 rouse check for each aggravated. And you can only do 1 or a certain number a night, I believe.
It's 1 per new... It's 1 after each sleep,
Okay.
as I recall.
Good news, you have 10. So, I just need to figure out how hungry you have gotten.
Okay. Well, can I juice box it before I start to bring me back down to 1?
You can, yes.
Okay. Because I had talked about refilling my stash at some point over the week.
All right, let's get rolling here.
Alright, first one. Okay, first one's a success.
Okay, still at 1.
Okay. Morning or evening number 2. Okay, that one's a success.
Okay. So far, so good.
So far.
Now let's see these last 2.
Okay, I don't get anything special for a critical success, do I?
No.
Okay. And last one. Can I make it through a week? Can I make it through? Nope.
Okay, so 2.
I'm back to 2.
Okay, that's not too bad.
That's not terrible.
Nagging, but it's not too bad. So, as I started to say before, going about your normal-ish business. Gramps has shown back up. He is looking in much better health. Cameron is looking very spry.
I'm sorry. We didn't say. Does Beth lose a humanity or anything for schooling him?
Go ahead and mark it for right now.
Off?
We will take care of that at the end of the night.
Okay, that's cool. Thank you.
Steven, you are probably at the butcher shop. Shiloh, after a couple personal days taken off, you're probably back at the nursing home. Beth, you're at the shop. Tory, you're probably in the lab, if we're being honest. Or in the kennel.
Yeah, she's splitting her time kind of between the two.
Everybody, brand new iPhone goes off. Group text. Hey, meet me here, and gives an address. You tap on it, and it comes up as the basketball stadium.
Beth texts out. Okay, who wants a pickup to go play basketball?
Whose number is it from?
Not a known number that you have.
Tory will message. Who is this?
I work for Baron D.
Okay. I will be there.
Steven's going to ask everyone else if they got the same text.
Yeah, we do, yeah.
Yep.
Tyler
We're gonna go play some
replies with
people.
a thumbs up emoji.
Are we sure it's not Fed Boy?
Shrug emoji.
I'm fairly certain it's not. However, if it is, we'll handle it.
You guys are so paranoid. It's fine. Who needs a ride? Come on. Let's go. Let's play basketball.
I could use a ride. Thank you.
I could too.
Same.
Alright.
I assume there's
She's
some
gonna have
misspellings here
another-
because she's getting used to the new keyboard.
Yeah, probably. And she doesn't know how to go back and delete stuff in the middle of the word.
She's not that bad with technology.
iPhones suck.
They do. They do. Mine annoyed me so much.
Anyway, so everybody shows up at the arena. Just so happens that they're playing a game tonight. However, go ahead and give me a wits and insight, please. Everybody.
Three successes for Beth.
Okay.
I got a skull.
That's
I only
it.
got to roll 2 red dice.
I got a 1 and 2 successes.
Okay.
4 successes.
Okay. So good news. That skull doesn't mean anything right
Okay.
now. Steven, with 2, you can't quite get anything. Beth with 3 and Shiloh with 4. Somebody that one particular person kind of stands out as weird. They're currently sitting on a statue that they have outside of a former player that they have. And they are eating a bag of sunflower seeds.
Beth will just wave. Hi.
He looks up and he's like, y'all the ones that I texted?
Probably.
We got Beth, Shiloh, Tory, and Steve.
Yeah, I'm Beth. Hi.
Okay. Sorry, we ain't never met before. Donte needs some help. He'd be here himself, except it's a somebody's watching him,
That's good.
and we need to figure out why. It's somebody we ain't never seen before. Likes to wear a lot of black. Kind of looks either like a really crappy preacher or somebody that wants to be like whatever that, I don't know, the angry I hate everything.
Kind of young, looks like bad 90s goth.
I wouldn't necessarily say that, but definitely has that air about him. Likes turtlenecks though. That's the weird thing. So like a bad art dealer, I guess.
Okay. Probably not the person I'm thinking about.
Not too far is where he's staying. He's staying in some apartments around here. So,
The guy watching?
Yeah, the guy that's watching likes to show up at the shop at about 1 a.m. Doesn't leave until about 5. If Donte goes anywhere, he follows him around. Just really, really weird.
I don't mind helping.
Yeah. We just need to figure out what exactly, like why he's watching him.
You were muted, Cocia.
Yeah, I just said it was creepy. Being followed like that, it's creepy. So
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of it.
Not really. Okay, so how can we help?
Any y'all good with picking locks?
Yes.
Not at all. But
I'm
good
not
to see you
surprised by
here.
that.
Only kind of. You know, the basics.
Okay, well, we're gonna need that. Gonna have to go in and figure out who this person is. I can get in the building. We got a key card to get in the building. I just don't have a key to the lock. Normally we would get the ugly people to help us, but you know, there's a bunch of people around tonight. Probably isn't the best idea. Heard that y'all were more than capable most of the time. So, this is what we're gonna do. And he stands up, he starts walking. And he's like, I know normally college kids like to stay in this particular apartment because it's kind of between college and downtown. The fact that he's in there, I don't know exactly what the hell's going on. It might just be a coincidence. Might be dude wants a tattoo and doesn't know how to, like, we got to figure out why though.
Yeah. Have you guys noticed if he's one of us or not?
We can't get close enough to him. We go to approach him and he walks away. We don't want to cause a scene, like run after him.
Has anyone talked to the kids or kids that have seen him around yet?
No, not yet. Mainly for the simple fact of, like, we don't want to alert him that we're looking into him. But yeah, no, it's right up here on the right. And you come up to a building that kind of looks like law offices. Like, it's a very flat-fronted, like, beige building. Super just kind of boring. There is a person inside the door that's looks to be a doorman. They are half asleep right now. He walks up, he scans his card, and he's like, alright, yeah, just come on. The door person wakes up and So yeah, welcome back, and kind of spaces out again. About that fast. You make it to the elevator and get on. Hits the number 3 button. And he's like, "All right, so it's 358 is where we're going." I'll stay by the elevator.
What's your name?
You know, I do apologize. I should have introduced myself. Leo. If you look at my artist portfolio, though, it's fire.
Okay.
I do a lot of like.
One of us or Ghoul?
Oh no.
Okay.
I'm good with what you guys do though, because Donte pays me really good, and he doesn't ask me to do nothing that I'm not. Yeah. I'm not even one of his like special ones.
All right. Good to
I'll stand by the door. And he hands somebody a walkie-talkie. He's like, it's from Walmart. It don't work that great, but we don't need it to work that great. If you hear me say something, get out.
Tory will take it.
And get up to the floor, and he gets off. He's like, all right, go ahead and head down. Like I said, 358.
Aye, let's do this, guys.
Head down.
Sneak.
Anyone in the hallway?
There is. Looks to be a typical like welcome back party going on, because school's been out for a little while. First week of classes are happening again, so there's a party going on.
The party's in the hallway?
It's between a couple of rooms. 4, to be specific.
You want me to go talk to them while you guys slip past? I mean,
I could
Shiloh would be
clear them
wearing
out.
the beanie and the jean jacket and that whole getup, so so despite looking a little gaunt, she'd probably blend into the whole college kids crowd a little bit better than y'all.
I could clear them out of the hallway pretty easily.
Do we want to make a scene though, and tip them off? You're muted.
It's either that or they probably watch us pick the lock.
They might also be a little drunk already, though, and might not even care.
Whatever you guys want to do.
So, Steven, you're at 3 hunger, right?
Yep.
So as you approach, you get that nice perfume smell that you enjoy specifically. And your beast is like, ooh, you smell that?
Yep.
Yeah, we can eat. I'm hungry. I don't know about you. I'm hungry.
And I'm sure a little snack wouldn't hurt.
You should go in there now. Just screw the whole lockpick thing. Just go in there. Get what you want and let them figure it out themselves.
Yeah, we should wait. Maybe later.
Come on, you walk past the party. Nobody is paying you any attention.
Lockpick first, and then eat.
Is Steven, like, visibly having issues here?
If Steven could sweat, he would be sweating. But it's not tempting enough to just go for it. So, Steven, I need a dexterity and larceny.
4 successes.
4 successes is enough to unlock the door with only minor scratching. If you inspect the lock, you'll be able to tell you were there, but just a quick tertiary or primary glance, nah, you're fine. You hear the lock satisfyingly click. The door starts to swing open. It is pitch black inside.
Eyes of the Beast.
Okay. You see a very simply furnished apartment. There are some posters on the wall.
Can Tory slip inside while gesturing for the others to wait?
I believe you need to make me a willpower roll.
Willpower? Oh, I do. Shit.
Yes.
Yes, I do. It was unspent willpower, right?
Yes, unspent willpower. And you need to roll 2, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I've got 4 unspent. 3.
Not necessarily to say that it's easy for you to go in there, but it's like, I don't want to do this, but I will. And you put yourself in. Immediately to your right is a small bathroom, toilet, and stand-up shower with a sink in the middle. Small closet right next to that. And it is basically a studio apartment with a kitchen in the back, bed up front with TV across the way, and dresser across the wall. Looks like it has a bunch of built-ins. Looks like nobody's there.
Okay. For like no sounds or anything like that.
Nope.
That was loud.
Yeah, I apologize.
Okay, then yeah, if there's no one hiding in here.
You gonna flip the light on?
Tory wouldn't.
Yes.
No, Tory wouldn't. She doesn't need to. But if the others do, she's probably gonna do that rapid blinking, like, oh god, so bright.
So on cue, Beth is like, okay, all's clear to flip.
Ugh,
We could just use our phones as flashlights.
that hurts.
This is easier. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you do the eye thing?
Yeah.
As
Thanks.
soon as we're inside, can I go to the bathroom and do the mirror thing, check for a one-way mirror?
I mean, you can. It doesn't prove anything.
Just want to make sure we're not being watched from a secret closet or anything.
Oh my god.
You're fine.
If there's a desk, can Tory go look around it?
Yes. You open drawers on the desk, and besides a couple papers that are very neatly stacked, and a briefcase that is technically locked, but I mean, you'd start fiddling with the numbers and it unlocks itself, and again, more papers inside. None of which really have anything special on it. Some financial stuff, a bill, that type of stuff. There's nothing really of note.
Can I activate Sense the Unseen?
Yep. There is nothing. What would Beth like to be doing?
Okay, sorry. Beth would like to not be distracted by the cat that's behind her laptop. Oh, I'm sorry, that's actually Cocia, not me. Or Beth. Anywho, Beth would probably just walk around the apartment looking for anything out of place, anything that might help the situation. Cat, can you get your butt out of this camera? Thank you.
Okay. Give me a wits and investigation.
Okie dokie. Alright, Choki, I can do this. 2 success.
Okay. What looks odd is that this entire place looks immaculate. Like, better than perfect.
Guys, this whole place is like too clean. Everything's too. It's like somebody with OCD lives here, or like this is an OCD person. Somebody with OCD's like dream place. It's too everything.
When Beth says that, can Tory head to the kitchen and see if there's food?
Yes. What would Steven like to be doing?
Can Steven also check the place for bugs, like for microphones and whatnot?
With yours, give me a wits and electronics. I believe that's the thing. Or wits and technology, rather. I know what I was trying to say.
One success.
Okay. The only thing that you find is there is a microphone that one would use to like do interviews with, but not anything else. Like there's no cameras, there's no hidden microphones, there's nothing like that. So, Tory, you open the refrigerator. There is a carton of milk. There is 2 packs of ground beef. And there is a bag of grapes. In the pantry, there is some hamburger helper.
I think we're good. This looks like typical college fare, from what I remember.
The grapes are a little on the healthy side, and I don't remember being able to afford 2 packages of ground beef at the same time, but
Oh, well,
maybe things are changing for the better.
We went to college at vastly different times, I think.
Shiloh,
Yes.
give me a wits and awareness. Since you're the most recent college student of the group.
Can I spend a willpower to reroll?
Yes,
Okay.
you can always do that.
Okay. I should reroll 1, 2. Okay, 4 successes.
Okay, so kind of going with what Beth found. No college student makes their bed. No college student makes their bed with the hospital corners. This is borderline military. This is definitely not a college kid's dorm room.
This is...
It's weird, right?
Nah, this is not college student. This is someone using college students to masquerade. Hide their tracks.
Well, he's not here. What time is it
We
right
should...
Sorry.
I was gonna say we should probably leave as soon as possible. This does not feel good. I could probably talk to the students outside partying. Maybe some of the more lucid ones could kind of as they say these days, vibe check him for us?
You'll have to explain that one. Go talk to them.
I
And-
barely understand it myself. I'm just now getting caught up on 30 years of pop culture, so I don't even know if I used it right at this point.
We can take the last couple of minutes around if you want to go do that.
Okay. So Shiloh will slip out of the room and try and find a relatively lucid college kid, kind of on the fringes of the party, to talk to.
Okay. You kind of slip into one of the open doors. Find somebody that looks not terribly drunk. They're like, "Hey, what's going on?"
Hey, hi! Wow. Oh man, this is an exciting. I'm so sorry. I just got here. I'm a transfer in. I just kind of moved down the hall, and I was just kind of wondering if I could find someone that's been around a little bit, ask a quick question about one of the guys that lives around here.
Oh yeah, hold on. Let me And he kind of looks around and he's like, "Let me go get Caitlin. She actually lives here. I'm just a friend of a friend that well, I'll spare you some details, but I want to be more than a friend of a friend. I want to be a friend of a friend." Yeah.
Right.
And he's like, "Yeah, let me go find her." And he comes back not too long with a very tall young woman. And she's like, "Yeah, we haven't met. I'm sorry."
Oh, hi. I'm so sorry. I'm Chelsea. I'm a new transfer. Just moved in.
"Oh, okay. What's your major?"
Oh, I'm political science.
"Oh, I'm psychology." "Nice to meet you."
Cool. Nice to meet you too. You might be the right person to ask. Listen, when I was moving in, it was kind of late at night, but as I was coming in, there was this guy with this really weird vibe going on that was passing me in the hall. Do you know anything about him?
You mean 358?
Yeah, him.
Yeah, so he moved in probably 2 weeks ago. I think he leaves at like 4 in the afternoon. Always leaving in like a suit and tie, and it's weird. Drives a really nice car though. One of the foreign imports. It's not like your normal ones like your BMWs and Mercedes. It's one of the special ones. It's got a weird accent too. I think it's English.
Does he ever talk to anyone? That seems kind of weird for someone like that to be hanging out around here.
Yeah, the most he talks to people is "excuse me" and "pardon me." He's weird. He keeps to himself though. I mean, I think he's mostly harmless.
Anyone ever get a name out of him?
No, but who's the door? Who's the person at the door tonight? Is it Gerald?
Something like that? I'm still learning names, I'm sorry.
Yeah, old guy, red hair.
Mhm.
And it was. He's like, he might know. He tends to remember people's names, especially weird ones. I've been here for 2 years, and I mean, I haven't had any issues, so I don't think got to worry about them, but maybe. I don't know.
Okay, well, thank you so much. What was your name again?
Caitlin.
Caitlin. Listen, could you do me a really big favor and just forget we had this conversation? And I'm going
Just
to
wait, what?
cast... I'm going to cast, Cloud Memory on her, and then walk away into the crowd.
She kind of stands there for a little bit and just kind of like stares blankly at the wall and blinks, and she turns around and is like, "Where's my drink?" As she walks back off into the crowd.
While that conversation is going on, can Tory check under the bed, the closet, see if there's anything we can use to connect to someone?
Yeah. All right. So
Beth will help if she can.
So will Steven.
So easiest thing to do is check in the closet, open the door, nothing's in there.
No clothes?
There are clothes. It's a bunch of turtlenecks and suits.
Nothing we've seen before.
Yeah, nothing that
Nothing stands out that we've seen before.
It's all very plain. Beth, can you roll me a wits and etiquette? I feel like if anybody out of this group would know what the shoes are, it'd be you.
Hey, successes!
Okay. Something that stands out to you specifically are the shoes that this guy wears. They're all very, very high-end, very, very expensive.
Damn, guys, he has Gucci. Like, real Gucci.
You move from there, and you go to check underneath the bed, and it looks like it should be your normal, like, crappy frame bed, not like a pedestal, but you like lift up the bed skirt, and there's a box underneath there, but it only covers the top half of the bed.
Hey, Steven, can you lift the bed up?
Sure.
So Steven lifts the bed up, and you see not quite a safe, but it's definitely a large lockbox.
Is it locked?
We'll see if I'll be able to get it open.
That will require another larceny check.
Yeah, we'll pull that from under the
Dexterity,
bed
Larson.
first, so he doesn't drop the bed on Tory.
Two successes, two failures.
Okay. Would you first? Can you re-roll any of your dice?
I can reroll two.
Okay, so you got two black ones.
Yes.
Okay. Would you like to spend a willpower to re-roll the black ones?
Yeah, I'll spend one. I got a third success.
Okay, so that one, you're kind of clumsy. You kind of force it a little bit, but it does come open. It's fairly obvious that somebody got into it. However, you open it up, and there is a very old style rifle in there. There is a magazine with bullets in there, and there's a small pistol that looks very unique, put it that way. Very large caliber, has two magazines sitting next to it that the bullets themselves look rather unique as well. There is also a ID in there.
Ooh, what's the ID say?
You pick it up, you open it up, and it says MI6.
Tory will use the walkie and ask,
How much do you want this guy to know that someone was here?
You get a response of preferably none, but if you already screwed up, you already screwed up.
This is looking not good.
would you find?
Some hunting weapons, I think.
Oh, that's fun. So like a shotgun and a rifle or something?
Yeah. Well, a little strange handgun. I was just gonna grab them, but if you don't want us to.
No, I mean if... Here, hold on. I'm coming down. And he goes silent, and he shows up in the door and walks over, and he kind of looks at him and is like, oh, that's probably not good, and kind of looks at the lock, and he's like, well, he's already gonna know you're here. So I guess it ain't gonna hurt to, like, take stuff.
Less he can use.
Yeah. Is Tory still holding onto the ID? Or did she put it back down?
She would have been holding it, I think.
Okay. He sees it in your hand. It's like, you mind?
Here.
He kind of looks at it and he's like, well, that's not good. Let me give him a call real quick. And he dials him up, puts him on speaker. He's like, yeah, what's up? He's like, yeah, so we got an issue here. I'm gonna let them explain it to you. So the storyteller doesn't sound like he's just talking to himself.
It's Donte on the phone?
Yes.
That guy's not around you, is he?
Not that I can see right now.
Good. Stay out of his line of sight.
Why?
We found some...
I said it's the feds.
Yep. We found some weapons, and one of them doesn't look normal.
What's it look like?
Like it's made to kill kindred.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. We might have a
Grab
hunter
that.
problem.
Yeah, grab that, bring that to me. I don't give a damn if he knows that we were in there or not.
You want his Gucci shoes too?
I mean, if you think they'll fit me.
What size do you wear?
A 13?
I'll go double check.
Yeah, they're like an 8.
Damn. No, sorry, Donte. They won't fit you. They'd probably fit one of us girls, though.
that tracks.
Or if anything, we can sell them.
Shall we leave a note of warning?
Nah, I think he'll get the idea. Whether or not he'll stop is a completely different story. But, I mean, I think he'll get the idea.
Alright, we'll be on our way.
So you grab everything and head out?
Unless you guys want
Honestly,
to do something else.
it would be too much. It would probably be too much trouble to actually try to sell the Gucci shoes because of all the hoops you have to jump through to prove that they're real. So let's leave those. Just make sure we got the gun. Whatnot.
Guns. Just take the box.
Sorry, guns. Yes, the whole box.
The 450-pound box. Got it. It's extremely heavy.
I got 3 strengths.
Force. Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm sure between the 3 of us we could carry it. 3 of us are fairly strong.
So you grab this box and you're going to carry it down the hallway?
Is the party still going? And is Shiloh still outside?
Yes. Party is still going. Shiloh is probably done at this point.
Tory will meet Shiloh in the main room. Explain what we found.
I'm gonna go clear out the party so we can grab this.
Yeah, hey, listen, guy's probably British. He's got like foreign cars and speaks with a foreign accent. The doorman might have caught his name. We'll have to talk to him on our way out.
Yeah, I'm gonna clear the party so we can get these things out of here.
Gotcha.
Tory will Eyes of the Beast again
Okay.
and go and non-violently break up the party and send them either into the room or on their way.
Okay. Give me a manipulation and intimidation roll, please.
Okay. I think. Yeah, I just want to check something. I don't remember if Obvious Predator actually gives me intimidation. I don't think it does.
I don't think it does. I think it just takes away from other things.
Yeah, I think it takes away from hunting other than, like, actually hunting them.
Yeah.
But Eyes of the Beast gives me 2.
Okay. So you're up to 5, I think.
Yeah, 2 intimidation against mortals. You said manipulation?
Yes, manipulation and intimidation.
That only leaves me at 4. Because I don't have... Well, yeah, no. Yeah, I've only got 4. Thought I had more than that for this. Oh, well.
It's fine. Actually, what did you rouse the blood for? Was it charisma or manipulation?
It was charisma, but it was also when I was ghouling Cameron.
Yeah, never mind. That's something different.
Could roll it for this, I guess.
It's up to you. If you wanted to, we can. If not, don't worry about it.
Yeah, I'm not sure how needed it is.
Alright, go ahead and give me that roll.
Um, 3 successes.
Okay. That is enough to kind of get everybody kind of scatter. You down there and, like, basically, y'all quit or I'm going to call the cops. And they just kind of, like, go off in their rooms. You can still hear the music going, all that fun stuff, but they just kind of shut the doors.
Okay. She'll signal for the other people to come through.
Yep. Steven and Beth, you're carrying the thing down. Shiloh, you're trying to help. Tory, you do eventually help. You make it to the elevator, you put it in there. Start going down. Make it out the front door. Or at least make it to the doorman. He kind of wakes back up and like, what are you doing with that? That looks heavy. You need help?
No, we got it. We got it. We're just last minute moving stuff. By the way, this is probably a really, really weird question. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to get to know people. Kind of kid with a weird vibe, likes turtlenecks, speaks with a British accent, fancy cars. Ringing a bell?
Oliver.
Oliver. How long has he been here?
About 2 weeks. Very specifically wanted to have me call him Oliver, not Ollie, not anything like that. Pretty sure he's from England.
That makes sense from what I've heard. He's got a real weird vibe to him.
Yeah, he seems mostly harmless.
Okay. Hey, listen. Before you go back to doing your thing, I need you to do me one little itty bitty favor and forget you talked to me. And I'm going to make him forget as well. Cloud memory.
Okay, he's like, yeah, sure it is. Oh, hey, you need help with that?
No, we got it. Just doing some last minute moving. Thanks, though.
Not a problem. Have a good night.
We've got the door for us. Oh.
Shiloh
Hey.
will kind of shuffle off and grab the door.
Wow, that would have been nice to know you could do.
You get outside
Never
with
asked.
this thing. You get outside with this thing, and Fire is already on the phone. He's like, "Hey man, we need a van here. Like, how soon can you get there?" All right, cool. I'll see you in about 2 minutes. And sure enough, about 2 minutes later, the nondescript van comes pulling up, and your friend Blaze is inside. He's like, "Oh hey, how's everybody doing?"
Fabulous night.
Yeah, it looks like you're getting in trouble.
But aren't we? So can you open up the van so we can, not hold this thing anymore? It's a little heavy.
It's not like
Just
you
a
guys get.
smidgen.
It's not like you get tired anyway, but it's unlocked.
Here, why did you put this in the van for us?
Or no. I can, but no.
Can you just open the door?
It's unlocked.
Beth will just one hand hold the her side and pop open the door and be like, "Could have at least opened it for us. Could have been nice. We're helping your boss tonight."
Quick question. As they're hauling this thing into the car, can I activate Sense the Unseen one more time just to make sure we're not being, watched or anything?
Yeah. You don't see anything.
Okay.
However, you get this thing loaded in, get the door shut, and you hear something kind of coming around the corner. It's a bit louder. It's very unique in sound. Everybody kind of turns around, and Beth, you're immediately drawn to it because you're like, "Oh, nice car," and you're like, "Oh, nice car."
Oh snap! Oh snap! That's a nice car. I hear.
No,
We need to go.
yeah.
And do you want me to wait on him? Tail him, kind of? Wait here for him?
I mean, yes, but no. Let's
I
just
can
go.
be in dog form.
But he might have I don't know, weird hunter stuff and know what you are.
I just look like a big dog. If you want eyes on him, I can do it.
If you think you can fully get away,
I'm not gonna follow him to his apartment.
well, of course not. But I mean, I just don't want him to chase after you. That's all. But if you think you can sit here and watch him for a little bit, we'll meet you at, I don't know, wasn't there a Starbucks?
I can get to
walk
Donte's.
back? Okay, or Donte's.
Yeah. I guess shape, change, and while I'm in the truck, and then hop out.
Okay. So you shape change, and this vehicle comes pulling up and shuts off. Beth, you immediately recognize it as not necessarily the newest model, but it's definitely an Aston Martin. He steps out and he's got the suit on, and he's got his nice shoes on. And he walks inside and kind of gives a wave and heads up the stairs, or heads up the elevator. The van pulls away, I assume.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Beth is like, I'll drive. Vroom, vroom.
Tory, you're sitting there.
Yeah, she's gonna... If there's a place that, looks like stuff is thrown or whatever near the doors that he went in, she'll hang around there.
Yeah,
Or, play the begging dog.
Yeah, you can stand by the stairs to go up into the door. Kind of play the quote-unquote begging dog. About 4 minutes later, he comes running down. And he's changed. And he is huffing and puffing. And he's on the phone with somebody. And you can just hear, "I don't know how they figured out how to get in, but I promise you I'll take care of the problem tonight. You wanted this one alive, yes? Oh, good, alright. I'll see you in about 4 hours, give or take. Normal spawn, right? Yes? Yes, the warehouse just south of the sprawl. Not it. Thank you. Have a nice night. And he hops in his car and he drives off.
Okay, Tory will go to a secluded area and text. Because I don't think she knows how to do a group call. Well, I guess she could just call someone. She'd just call someone.
Okay. Who would you like to call out of your 4 choices?
It doesn't matter. They're all together.
True.
So just whoever's first. Probably Beth. First on the list.
Yep.
Although Beth's driving. No, we'll go Shiloh.
Okay. So Shiloh, you get a call from Tory.
Hello?
You might want to put this on speaker.
Boop.
He said he's going to do it tonight. He was on the phone with someone. I couldn't hear the other side. He said he's going to meet up with someone in about 4 hours in a warehouse on the edge of the sprawl.
I don't know if Tory would have an inkling as to where that would be since we've been kind of dealing with this for a while now.
Maybe. Give me a intelligence and streetwise. To get at least the general area.
Three.
Okay, so 3 come to mind. Where Steven stabbed somebody. That's the first one.
Which time?
There's also the one that you did surgery on.
Okay.
Yeah. There's also an old defunct concrete plant down that way, and then there is a new set of warehouses that are going up, but nobody has moved into them yet. Seemingly.
There's 3 that come to mind that it could be. I could see if Nyx might have a better idea. I could either meet back up with you guys or go scope out the warehouses.
I vote you scope out the warehouses and keep in touch.
Yeah, sounds like a divide and conquer kind of night. We'll get this stuff to Donte and
Warn him.
we'll just keep in touch.
Please do. Keep in touch, that is.
Then she'll hang up and head to there. Although she's gonna text Nyx and see if Nyx has a better idea as to which one it is.
You text Nyx and you do not immediately get a response back.
That's fine. She'll just head in the general direction of them.
Okay, are you
To
walking
whichever
the
one is
entire way?
closest.
Or are you gonna get a ride?
If she can get a ride, should do that.
Okay. Or would you like to steal a car? That is 100% possible.
I don't think she should do that or can really do that. She can drive, but that's about it.
Okay. Figured I'd offer.
Yep, I've got 0 technology.
I mean, you know of a garage where there's a nice flashy yellow car just waiting.
Yeah, but I don't think it's close.
It's not too far. You can get a ride to there and then drive.
If Beth gives permission, sure.
Yeah, go ahead, go for it.
Yeah, she'd probably either call back or text. Doesn't really matter as long as she got an okay and where the keys are.
Yeah, Georgie has them. Just ask for the keys. They'll give them to you, I'm sure.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. So, where are the rest of you going?
Donte! He wants this case, right?
Okay. So you show up outside of Animal House Tattoo. not quite in the heart of downtown, but it's pretty dang close. And Donte meets you outside. He grabs the large, heavy case by himself and kind of like drags it through a shop in front of him. He gets to the back, puts it on his table, opens it up, takes a look inside, and he's like, okay, this is not good.
What is it? Is it kindred?
No.
Specialty killing machines? No? What is it?
Well, let me rephrase that. Not exactly. Then he picks up the pistol and he's like, this is. And he picks up the rifle and it's like, this is not. This is kill all the mortals. And then this one is kill all kindred. History lesson. I'm not from here, obviously.
You don't say. I don't think any of us are from here.
Yeah. I'm from across the way.
Like across the pond, across the way.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes that contextualizes Oliver then. Okay.
Yeah, I'm actually from France. Here and over there. Anyway, when I was real young, I may or may not have possibly killed this guy's wife. This one's on me. I was hoping that I'd get away from him and let him just rest. Obviously not. So yeah.
Story.
You got more news for me?
Tory's tracking possible locations where this guy's gonna meet up at. Right, the warehouse.
Warehouse. He said he was gonna. She said that he was gonna meet someone at a warehouse south of the sprawl in 4 hours. Sounds like a tag and bag, I believe the term is, but.
Alright, that is a little bit odd. Exactly why they would want to lie. But let Tory know, just be careful, don't do anything super crazy.
Feyla will pop off a quick text.
I won't do anything too crazy, I promise.
And then he's like, alright, so let's start with square one. Who's hungry?
Me! But I have my people, I just need to go meet up with them.
No, you're good. And he kind of leans out the front door and he's like, yo, Frankie and Lou, come here.
Steven's also very hungry.
Yeah. And Steven, for you, he's like, and you just kind of like grab somebody. He's like, yeah, you're up next. And he comes in. He's like, yeah, sit down. Let him do something. And we'll get to you. And it's just like one of the patrons. He's like, Steven, you there, and you two figure this out.
Man.
Beth will turn to Frankie and be like, may I feed off of you, please?
I mean, that's why I'm here.
I like to get consented. One of my things.
You're one of the weird ones that technically breaks this crap. It's fine.
Technically.
And then Lou looks at Shiloh and it's like, here you go, and just kind of like holds his arm out.
She's gonna look nervously at him. I don't want to seem. She's gonna turn to Donte and be like, I don't want to seem ungrateful, but do you have anything prepackaged by any chance?
And he kind of laughs and walks over to the refrigerator and is like, yeah, Yeah, I do actually.
Thanks.
And he opens it up and it's just full.
I'll take one of those two as well. Please.
He grabs 2 out and he's like, "Alright, you 2 can leave. We'll still get yours in a little bit." And she's like, "Uh-huh." And kind of like, I hope that they don't say anything. Anyway, we might need this. I don't know what the hell's coming after me tonight. I assume that it's coming after me, not somebody else.
Always good to stay on your toes when it comes to the governments.
Yeah. Didn't think it'd be the English government, though.
It's all of them, always.
Yeah, something like that. Anyway, and he kind of sits down and he's like, "So, do we want to meet them where they are, or do we want to just wait for them to come to us?"
I guess it depends on if we want to give up the advantage of what little advantage of surprise we might have.
Yeah, you realize this is a tattoo shop, right? I mean, it's literally just a hallway.
Shiloh just kind of shrugs and is like, "Look, I'm just used to making do with what I got, so I've never been much of a strategist beyond go."
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, there's not much of a advantage, but you know, if you could set up a little bit of a perimeter, get some people in the high ground, so to speak.
Yes, Beth.
Oh no, we could always remove him from the tattoo parlor. Not that I'm there. I'm not there to strategize with you guys. I took the brains and left.
Yeah. How dare you leave us without the brains? None of us are all that smart, except for you. Okay, well,
Hey
Beth isn't.
now.
I don't really know about the other two.
I'm
All right.
decently Shiloh's decently intelligent. She might not be like medical level intelligent, but she's decent. She's smart
So-
enough to survive a trip from Portland to Atlanta.
So we're gonna put a pin in that particular situation right now. Tory, you make it to the garage. You meet George in the garage, and he hands you the keys to the yellow Subaru.
George, do you know where the drops were done at? Whenever Cyril had you guys do that? Nick said she'd give me information, but I haven't heard from her about them in a while.
Yeah. I know the one that I went to was at a concrete place.
Okay. Thank
Old
you.
concrete
That
place.
South Sprawl?
Yeah. And then
That-
where we did the whole racing thing. Yeah, that was another one. But and those were the only two.
Have you used them multiple times?
Yeah.
Concrete one's usually the drop point.
Usually makes Cyril feel better being outside.
That was actually extraordinarily helpful, thank you.
Okay, be careful with third. It's a little bit crunchy.
Okay. This is gonna be great.
And what's the chances of Tory knowing how to drive a stick shift?
Actually, probably pretty good. I'm assuming that's what she grew up learning on.
She at least is serviceable.
I mean, given
Yeah.
when she learned to drive, that's probably was the majority of things.
Yeah. Might have been a minute since she's done it, though. So
Yeah,
she can do it.
it might be a little bit more crunchy after she's done with it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Good thing it's not Dolly.
Yeah. So you hop in and you take off. And which one are you going to?
The concrete one. She would go first.
Okay. How long are you gonna sit there?
She wouldn't. So how far apart are the buildings? Or are
They
three
are-
warehouses?
Yep.
Roughly.
We'll say 45 minutes between the three, between the outside ones, about an hour and a half.
Okay. She probably would swing. Might swing by them all just to make sure, but the concrete one is the one she would spend the actual waiting time at.
Okay.
Um,
And we will get back to Tory then.
yeah, once she gets to the concrete place to wait, she'll message everyone else where she is and that she plans to wait to see if anyone shows up unless they needed her back. And also that we might want to not involve the tattoo parlor with things if this really is going to go badly.
Ella will hold up her
Yes.
phone to show Donte. Well, I guess there's our answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, she always was the smart one, wasn't she? Yeah.
Is the big brain power.
Yeah, something like that. So, any kind of things is like, all I got is a bike.
I got Dolly. Pretty sure Tory took the yellow car.
Okay. And he kind of leans out. He was like, "Yo, Blaze, you still got your mom-mobile?" And Blaze just kind of turns around and is like, "Shut up! Yes, I do. Shut up." He's like, "All right, cool. Get your lady to bring it over here." And he pulls out his phone and starts. So yeah, she said she'll be here in like 45 minutes. Asking me why, but I just said food run. She stopped asking. And yeah, in about 45 minutes, an old Chevy Ventura white van pulls up, super crappy, barely runs. It's like, that's our ride.
Oh gosh. Do you need someone to fix this up?
No, it's all good. I literally just have it because she's got 4 kids.
Okay, but I mean, think of the children. I mean, what if it breaks down somewhere?
Can we have this conversation in the car, please?
Yeah, sorry, let's go.
So you'll pile into this old crappy van. And start heading down the road. Where are you going? Just out of curiosity. Anywhere in particular, or are you just kind of driving around?
You want to swing by and get Dolly? Because isn't that's not, that car isn't armored and it's just got the tint, right?
Dolly's
And I
armored.
Yeah, Dolly's armored. And I have Dolly.
I thought Dolly was at the apartment complex still. Unless you
Oh.
brought it to the tattoo parlor.
Right, sorry, nope. I got confused. Yeah, because I drove the van. Yeah, let's go get Dolly. Hopefully that guy didn't really notice her. Fingers crossed. And,
He hadn't asked him, Martin, what does he need Dolly for?
very true, very true. But, you know, Dolly kind of sticks out a little bit, especially since I did the green and hot pink ghost flame, like Johnny asked, or suggested, rather.
We need to get you some more low-key cars. We
Alright,
can't do
so-
tailing with green and pink flames. We really can't.
It's so pretty. Yeah, well, the truck will be done soon, and that's, I mean, it's fancy, but it's a little bit more low-key.
Isn't that the yellow one that Tory took to stake out?
No, the truck isn't done yet. That's what I got from Gramps.
Okay.
It'll be forest green, have that nice, like, cedar bed. The dogs can fit in it, too, which will be great.
So You show up. You get Dolly. Donte hops in there with you. He tells Blaze to take the van back to the mom. And you head on out. Is there anywhere specifically that you would like to go now?
Shall we circle around the other warehouses? I mean, what is the plan here, guys? We don't know where they are yet, but we need a good location to be able to protect Donte.
Well, if we're just gonna go for this thing, should we swing by and pick up Tory?
Send her a text. I'll start driving, and if she says no, we'll just drive around when she says near someone.
Okay, Shiloh will send Tory a quick summary text. We picked up the armored car. Dante's with us. We got out of the tattoo parlor. Should we swing by and pick you up? What do you recommend?
I would rather.
You get the text, you pick up the phone, you look at it, and you're reading it. And then you hear a knock on your window.
Roll it down.
In comes a bald-headed man.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I thought that you would be here. Also thought that you wouldn't be alone. That's fine. I just wanted to talk. Nice display you put on.
Did you like it?
Seems like something that I would do. Seems like there was a Smeaty touch in there.
I learned from the best.
Oh, that's wonderful. I have it on good authority that one of your friends is currently being hunted. Yes?
Yeah. I was supposed to be dropped off here, and here I find you.
Yeah, I tend to have cameras around where I like to frequent. Just for future reference.
I assumed as much.
A yellow car kind of stands out. No offense. However, you can text them back and be like, it'll be taken care of. I just need a name and a license plate. I have reasons for wanting Donte alive.
And what reasons are those?
Well, he controls the area that I deal with, and I don't want to have to deal with somebody smarter. Donte is good, and he's charismatic, and he's a great leader. Not very smart, can't find me in his own territory.
Has he even tried? Because to me it doesn't look like any of the Barons are actually even trying to find you, given you've probably been here for about 5 to 10 years.
Oh, you've talked to my little accident.
Accident? Is that what it is?
Yes, I didn't mean to kill him.
So you turned him instead, and left him with nothing.
Yeah, it was more of a pity. I didn't want him to completely disappear from the face of the earth because he was useful to me.
So you left him with barely any knowledge to keep us hidden. No knowledge about what he is. No knowledge about who you are. What he is, the clans, nothing.
It's fine. It's probably best. He's not the smartest of the bunch, but
That's
it's a
very
shame.
obvious.
It's a shame. At one point in my life, I would actually probably be rather good friends with you. But here we find ourselves on opposite sides of the same coin. So I'm willing to make an offer to you. If you want to even entertain it.
And what's the offer?
I take care of this issue that Donte has. I stop my operations. And all you have to do is leave me alone. I'll stop with the Thin Bloods. Spanx is still going to be around doing things for me, but not in the same capacity.
Why are you even here?
And that I can't
I
tell.
doubt it's because of this blood trade you have going.
Oh no, that was just to fund a project.
Working with
If you would like to-
warlocks doesn't seem like doesn't seem like the style of the typical dragon.
Oh no, that was just to remove an issue that I would see.
I see. The unicorn issue.
Yes. Now, would you like to see exactly what I've been working on? Because I'm willing to show you. You're probably the only one that can fully understand it and appreciate it, given your background.
Oh, you know about that.
Loosely, you have been here for, well, you were here at one point for a while.
I was.
That much I know. Anything else, not so much. I just know you were here, and you left. Great timing, by the way.
Yeah. You know what? Yeah, why don't you show me?
And he pulls his phone out, and you can see him get signed into a couple things on his phone. And you just see a single camera, and there's somebody that is just strung up with chains and hooks through their hands and underneath ribs and all this other fun stuff. Very, very gruesome. And he's like, that has been my crowning achievement so far. They're still alive. I plan to keep them that way. And I plan to keep them exactly in that state.
Does Tory recognize
They-
what this is?
No, not really. This particular kindred would cause quite a few problems for everyone. So please,
So a powerful kindred? This doesn't look like that different than normal Zamitzi flesh bullshit.
Well, you should come by sometime and find out exactly what this is. I'd be more than willing to throw you in with it. Maybe, just maybe, you'll develop a kinship to it.
Well, if that's the kind of threats we're going to be making, maybe I don't want to do your deal. However, why even offer it in the first place?
Because I've gotten to the point that I don't need the extra funds. I'm doing it now purely just to bother you. I have other means of getting income.
One hunter isn't too difficult for us to deal with, I imagine. I don't get why you're putting forth the effort.
Friends of mine wanted me to.
So you were the person this hunter was supposed to drop Donte off to?
Oh, no.
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 Well, that's an answer I would like a question. That's a question I would like an answer to, as to who that is.
I believe you've met Mr. Emporo Cronin.
Yes.
Yes, it's his uncle that Donte was to be dropped off to. Donte has knowledge that would be nice to have for said uncle.
What a strange web is going on here.
Mind you, France isn't too far from Italy.
What does France
And
have to do with
Giovanni's are grudgeful beings at times.
Haven't dealt with many myself.
Yeah. I believe they go under the clan name Hakata now, and some of them are far less receptive. This is one of those.
Yes, I heard about their merger.
Yeah. Unfortunate, but necessary. Anyway, so I will let you mull that over. Then he puts a phone on the dash of the car, and he's like, there's one number in there. Call me, text me, I don't care. With your response in 15 minutes. After 15 minutes, offers off the table.
Okay.
Shiloh, you haven't heard from Tory yet? Seems like she's taken an awful long time to respond back. It's really weird.
Well, if she's undercover, I'm not gonna blow her cover by texting her and having her phone light up in the middle of a stakeout or anything. We'll just have to be patient and see what happens when we get there.
Okay. Just
Is
a little worried now.
Is Cyril staying or is he going away?
He is currently walking off.
Okay. Tory will finally pick up her phone.
There is a way to make this problem disappear right now. It involves a deal. I'm not sure if it's a deal with the devil or a good deal on our end or not.
Well, considering we're all kindred, it's automatically a deal with the devil, but what is it?
Not something I want to do over phone. I have 15 minutes to make a decision. However,
And then the text will cut off and there'll be a phone call.
Hello?
please put me on speaker.
Boop.
Donte, what the fuck did you do to the Giovanni?
Oh, wow. Okay.
I'm
Oh.
sorry, what?
Yeah, so that's the part I didn't tell you about. Might have pissed them off too.
The fucking Hakata!
In my defense, they were like, "Hey, we'll pay for you to get over to America, but all you got to do is this thing." And so I killed Oliver's wife, right? Because she was also MI6. But then I felt bad, and I was like, "Well, maybe she doesn't need to die," and she turned into one of us. So I pissed them both off in one fell swoop. That was great. Yeah, it's a fun time.
Beth is going to activate rapid reflexes and start gunning it faster. Okay, we're already in the sprawl. We're getting close to the warehouses. Which one are you at?
Don't come here. Go to my apartment if you need somewhere to go.
I just thought you didn't want to have this conversation all over the phone.
I don't. We have probably 10 minutes to make a decision now. There is no time.
I mean, for what it's worth, I trust your judgment on this.
Donte, have you looked for Cyril?
I have. I found him once and then he disappeared.
He's the devil in the situation.
Yeah, I figured. What's the deal?
He makes this disappear. He makes this issue disappear. He will drop his overt activities.
In exchange for what?
Being left alone.
Okay, now, did he say you leave him alone? Or everyone leaves him alone? Or we leave him alone?
I'm fairly certain it was the implication of he is just left alone. Right? Storyteller?
Yes.
Overt things. He still has things, and I need to look into it because he showed me something. Yeah, he was here. We had a conversation.
He
Well-
showed you something.
Yeah. It's normal stuff for them, I think. But he was acting odd about it.
Okay. I mean, in this particular situation, I don't want to have to deal with old Giovanni.
Yeah, that's who you're being dropped off to.
Yeah. I figured as much. Didn't realize that they'd be working together because one helped in the Second Inquisition, the other one,
Right.
yeah.
Not sure what's going on there. There's a conversation I need to have with someone about that still. You need to help me convince the other barons if I'm making this decision.
Yeah, well, Johnny, not a problem. Vic will go against anything I say anyway, so it's pretty much Carissa, and we just need a majority vote. And before we do that, I'm going to get all of the small people around, and we're going to put one of y'all in charge of the sprawl so we can stack the
I've
vote.
already made a claim to the people living in the sprawl. Some of them.
Okay, well, we still got to make it, like, technically official.
Yeah, I wasn't wanting to do that quite yet. Anyway, we're gonna have to do that. Push things forward, whatever. I'm gonna send this text now.
All right, let me know how it goes.
Did we get the license plate number from the guy? Because I need that.
Did Tory look at my license plate number?
I mean, I'm assuming it's something she would have looked at while she was waiting for him.
Okay.
And she was ogling. Beth was
Beth was-
ogling the car pretty hard, so.
Yeah.
So,
Probably between the two of us.
what I am going to do is, Beth, give me an intelligence and streetwise.
By the way, these are like two of Beth's worst skills.
Yeah, that's fine.
Nope.
You got 0?
Got 0, and all I had was blood dice to roll.
Okay. Now, Tory,
Yeah.
you've got good intelligence, right?
Yeah.
And you've got pretty good wits?
Not really. It's okay.
Okay. Can I get you to roll me an intelligence and wits, please?
Okay.
Steven, before Tory rolls, can I also get you to roll me a wits and streetwise? Or intelligence and streetwise?
Three successes.
So, Faye, you can add 3 dice to that pool. Between the 3 of you, you can probably figure something out. The only reason why Shiloh's not involved is because Shiloh really doesn't have a whole lot of like, ooh, cars, or that's an alphabet soup.
You said 3?
Yes.
Yeah, we all know how paranoid Steven is.
Yeah, so Steven would remember stuff like that, I feel like.
It's not paranoia when it's the actual agent.
6. Non-crits, but 6.
Okay. So, on the typical license plate, there are 7 numbers. However, on this one, there were 6 numbers. You remember all 6.
Cool. She will text Cyril the information.
You get a very short response of pleasure doing business.
The pleasure is mine. I will talk to the barons.
When you send the response, you get a return message of, this user is no longer in service. Please call X number if you believe this is an error.
She'll just stop herself barely from crushing the phone, throw it into the side seat, and go to her apartment.
Okay. Once there, I assume that everybody's there.
Yeah. Beth's probably just kind of been pulled into the back parking lot, just waiting outside, possibly circling the car.
Okay. Or you pull up, and Beth's probably pulling in right behind you. Donte gets out, and he's like, look, I apologize for this crap. I didn't think that it would follow me. That's why I never said anything.
It always follows you.
Everyone has things in their past, and it always comes up.
Yeah, but like you would figure that mine wouldn't come up as much because it was just that one mess up. But no, it's like I had the entire world coming down on me for this one. I don't get it, but it is what it is.
It's being handled. So now you and I have a very fun job of figuring out how to get the barons to leave off at least his overt stuff. I gave him my word, and that means a lot to me, and I have a really difficult time breaking it.
Yeah, so like I said, Johnny, not a huge deal. Carissa might be a bit of a problem.
She is the one I want to deal with the least.
Yeah, and Vic just ain't gonna do it. Vic does what Vic wants. And Vic wants that dude's head on spike.
Well, Vic's gonna have to learn some subtlety then.
Yeah. And he pulls out a phone that you ain't ever seen before. And he just hits a button and it's like, yeah, hey, we need to meet up. And he kind of turns around and he's like, where do you want to meet up?
I don't care.
Okay.
My garage is available if you want it. Or we could go to the Coterie house. Because, puppies galore upstairs. Probably not.
No, they're at a different place now. No one is here.
Oh, right. Yes, we moved. Forgot. Then I guess we could just do it here, couldn't we?
And he's like,
If some of the barons deem themselves worthy of coming here.
no, they will. Trust me. And he turns back around and is like, yeah, so GPS 99 bananas, that's where we're going. Or 99 bottles, or whatever the hell it is.
Bottles.
That one. It's in the sprawl. Upstairs is where you need to go. We're not going to the bar. I'll see you in about half an hour. Then he pulls out his other phone and just starts getting just a bunch of, like, you can see him just sending text out left and right. And he turns to you and is like, if you guys know anybody that's like leads a small group here, or if you know any thin bloods, get them here.
Ooh, Nyx hasn't answered
Tory's
me.
been running point for the Thin Bloods.
I've got a couple people I can contact here.
Okay. And I'm gonna get somebody here that probably isn't the smartest person to have here, but they're gonna show up.
And who is that?
My best friend's nephew.
I feel like that explains
Ah,
who.
right.
Yeah, and so yeah, that's gonna be fun.
Yeah, he better
Hey.
come here.
Hey, quick question. Do we specifically, I need to hang around for this? Last few times I've been in large groups of kindred, it hasn't gone well. Can I go, please?
Nah, you'll be fine. Trust
At
me.
least for now.
You'll be fine. I say large groups, it's gonna be about 13 of us.
I'm gonna wait in the car.
If it makes you feel any better.
Just be around, Shiloh.
Yeah.
You can go talk to Cameron.
Yeah, it's gonna be me, you four, Vic, Johnny, Carissa, which I hate dealing with her, but it is what it is. Then we got Barney and Red coming. So
Let me send off my text.
And Tory will actually go through most of the list that she's been gathering. That list of like several people that I've sent you,
yeah,
including one of the people that she ran with a long time ago. The one that has a phone.
which one? The
Gutman.
super special one.
Yeah. If
Okay.
she'll send a longer text to him explaining kind of what's happening in vague terms, and just say, you don't have to, I'm not expecting you, if you want.
Okay. You get a response from him actually fairly quickly. Yeah, I'll be there. But yeah, about half an hour, just a bunch of people show up. A couple more than 13. Oddly, Mr. Brightside's also there.
Interesting.
Winnie shows up. Amp shows up. Couple Thin Bloods show up. Couple people that you haven't met in the Sprawl show up. All of your people show up. As well as the Barons, and they've got a couple ghouls in each one
Is
of
Wink-
them themselves.
Is Wink there too?
Yeah, Wink shows
Okay.
up. Dante's like, alright, so 3 things. First thing is Tory's already expressed interest in being Baron over the Sprawl. I say that we let her. This one's just like Barons. I'm sorry, all y'all. Like, if we have a tie that we need to break, then that's where you guys come in. And Johnny's like, hell yeah, let's do it. And Carissa's like, I don't know if she's proven herself. And Vic's like, yeah, if you trust her, I don't. You're great and all. It's just, I don't. All right, cool, there's a tie. And he kind of turns. Everybody else is like, well, what's she done for us? And then Wink kind of comes up and like, this is the list of stuff that she's done. This is what she's working on. I say that we do that. And Thin Bloods get up there. Much the same. Mr. Brightside steps up. And he's like, yeah, I've actually known her for quite a while. She looks out for her interests. but also the interests of others, it would probably be best to have everybody follow her lead in this particular situation. I don't know why everybody was brought here, but if this is what we're doing, that's what you should do. And then Amp kind of shows up, like, yeah, I'd trust her over me, I'm not gonna lie. I'm the other option, so...
Yeah, we're gonna have a talk, Amp.
Yeah, I'm sure we will. Then a couple's more like, well, I've never heard of her, and this, that, and the next. And then one was like, well, I heard that she was a surgeon. He's like, oh, if that's who that is, then hell yeah, let's do this.
Jaeger, yeah.
And it's not quite unanimous, but it is majority that Tory is to be recognized as the Baron of the Sprawl.
3 cheers for Tory! Hip hip hooray!
Not
Then
the way I
Dante's
wanted
like-
to go about this. But needs
Dante's-
must.
Donte's like, all right, no, now that that's over, I got another business that we gotta stop looking for Cyril. And even Johnny's like, wait, what? Yeah, stop looking for Cyril. Like, do that for us. Johnny, you know that if I wouldn't ask for something this big if it wasn't serious. And he turns to Vic and he's like, I already know you're going to say no, so it don't matter. Now, Carissa, I need you to go along with us. And he kind of turns to you, Tory, and he's like, if you want to kind of explain what's going on.
I don't know. How much do you want me to explain what's going on?
As far as why we're going to stop looking. I'll explain the rest later. But you're the one that actually physically made the deal, so...
He is going to stop his overt machinations in Dante's domain, in the sprawl, in Atlanta. He's going to leave off and back off.
Okay. I only have one question. What do we get out of it?
What problems was he causing you when he was here? You specifically in your domain.
And Carissa's like, see, that's the thing is... I trust you, and I trust your better judgment. However, he is a threat, yes.
Undoubtedly.
So making such agreements shouldn't come as a light thing, correct?
Correct.
It should be a very serious and thought through process. So
Right. Are all of the other kindred still here?
yes.
It's a discussion for later.
So you kind of just want us to go off of good faith on a brand new Baron.
If you
And-
want to step upstairs and have a conversation with me away from everyone, we can have that.
I believe that would probably be a good idea for all of us to.
I
All
agree.
5 of us. Now, granted, we'll allow one of your friends to come with you. Normally, we would say ghoul, however, we believe the only ghoul you have is 4-legged and furry.
Not anymore.
So, if you would like to pick one of your 3 friends, which I believe Shiloh's around here somewhere,
Is that your preference?
No, it's completely up to you. Steven looks to be a little bit unhinged. No offense. However, if that's who you so choose, then that's who you so choose.
I do have a human ghoul. However, if you would prefer one of my coterie, we can bring them as well.
It might not hurt.
Step upstairs. I will bring them.
Who would you like to bring?
Tory removed the special door, by the way. It's in the new place.
Okay.
No one's gonna get hurt there. She'll round up the group and just be super exhausted at the turn of events.
One of you can come with me. Which one do you want to go?
I guess it should probably be me. I'm a little bit better versed in kindred etiquette.
You're also more level-headed.
I'm not that bad.
You're not. That's why you're Baron.
What'd you say, then?
I'm not that great with the kindred stuff, but if you want to you need someone just to make sure no one tries anything, I can go up with you.
Shiloh, you were pretty good at spotting mental manipulations, right?
Mm-hmm.
That is a weakness of mine that I need to shore up at some point. But I trust you to come help me with this.
Shiloh kind of nods, and before she goes up, she will activate Unswayable Mind.
Okay. So we have Shiloh and Tory. And Donte and Blaze. Johnny and one of his two ghouls. Probably the man. A little bit older. We have Carissa and her cop friend. Then we have Vic and Kamari. How this is going to work is, technically speaking, this is a social fight, encounter, whatever it is. Social test.
Okay, I'm gonna lose.
I figured that Tory would not do well. That's why I was like, you can pick who you want to bring with you. And let them roll.
Yeah.
So, you get up there, and they're already kind of arguing, going back and forth. And it's pretty much Vic and Carissa, and Johnny's kind of like off in his own corner. He's like, look, I'm just here. Once somebody makes a good point, I'm just going to vote for them. And Dante's just like, I messed up. It came back to bite me in the ass. Tory did what she had to do to get it taken care of. So the entire city wasn't burning because of me. This happened 15 years ago. I did not expect this to even show up at this point. Chris is like, well, if you don't fix your past, then why should you still be in power? And this happens next. Tory comes up and he's like, and you, why did you make a deal with him?
Would you have rather the Second Inquisition come back?
Well, no, and that's why I left Charleston.
That's why I left
my
Atlanta
husband.
when I did. I don't want to deal with that. But,
And she'll turn to Johnny, actually.
during one of those visions you had, you saw something with stuff in its face, right? Is that what it was?
Yeah?
Cyril showed me an image of a strung up kindred with hooks and chains and everything. I don't know where it is. I plan on finding out. He hinted that it was extraordinarily old, and that I would find a kinship with it.
That might be an issue.
Yeah, I figured that was the larger issue. That he knows where it is.
Yeah. Now the question is he trying to use it, or is he trying to keep it there?
He implied that he wanted to keep it there. However, I don't know his long-term goals.
Yeah, if I could sit down with him for about 10 minutes, I could figure everything out about him, but I can't.
I had a small conversation with him and got this much. He was willing to share. I might be able to talk to him more later. But that is only if you all stop digging for him. He is going to be doing his small machinations hidden in the shadows. But he's stopping the overt problems right now.
And Carissa kind of turns to you and is like, so, why should we believe him? I mean, Shiloh, would you believe him if he come up to you and you were the one that got this?
Actually, yes.
Oh.
And let me explain why. Every time we've run into Cyril, the only thing he has ever been consistent on is insisting that he be left alone. He's obviously not gonna stop the covert things, as Tory said. So why should we? Keep your defenses up. Keep a plan B. Just let it sit for a little bit.
Yes, but what if we let it sit and say he's planning on weaponizing whatever that kindred is? That would mean that if it's as powerful and as old and all this other fun stuff that he claims that it is, which I don't fully believe. I just believe that he's doing experiments, trying to make whites or army of whites or whatever it is.
What have you done in 10 years to stop him anyway?
I've only known about him for 2.5 there, hon.
He's been here for at least 10.
Yes, I understand that. But I haven't known about him for that long. We've been searching. Donte was supposed to be searching a whole lot more than us, but apparently not.
And now he's here. And out in the open. And has made this offer.
And in a few months, I have found him more times than probably all of you combined.
No, you have.
At least pieces of his chessboard.
Oh, okay. Would you care to share, then?
Sure. I found his child. I know how to get hold of him. I know where he runs his stuff. I found the warehouse he's shipping things out of. I am working on dismantling his thin blood network and how he gets things done. There's still a leak that I'm not sure where he's getting information from, but he knew about Shiloh.
Okay.
Everything about Shiloh.
Yes, I've actually been looking into that. I heard about that little hiccup. Given that that leak likely came from my stable, I'm dealing with it. Now that being said, I still don't necessarily trust him.
You shouldn't. No one should trust a Zemitzi that doesn't follow the old ways of hospitality. And I don't know if he does or not.
Yeah, the old ways of hospitality I've never really enjoyed personally. Granted, they have their place and they have all of the fun accompanying.
They have their place. But if he follows even a little bit, then we should be okay for a while. While we
Right.
shore up defenses and try to figure out what he is doing.
Now, the one thing that I do have to inquire about, and this is purely because obviously you three trust him enough to deal with him in this particular. If one of us does not, will that make a null and void on everything?
Most likely.
Likely, okay.
It's not like
Now-
I had a long and drawn out conversation with specifics with him, and now the number I had is out of service. So I would have to find him again to hash things out.
Okay. Convince me. And he actually turns to Shiloh. It's like they've made their arguments and compelling enough. Shiloh, convince me to listen to them, listen to their reason. You seem to be more level-headed given what I know about you. You have more of an insight into people that a lot of others don't. Now you can do this one of two ways. You can roll some dice, or you can actually talk. If you don't feel like coming up with a compelling argument.
Don't trust my dice that much, to be honest.
Me either, that's why I talked.
So,
That-
who am I directing this to?
Carissa.
Carissa. I mean,
Before Shiloh starts to talk, Tory will actually go stand next to Donte to, support / all of that stuff.
Okay. Go for it.
I mean, I'll certainly try. But I know in the end, there's only so much I can do to convince anyone, any of you. What little experience I've had has always been tainted by greed and underlying machinations, and what little peace I've ever been able to find was promptly ripped away from me as soon as it was inconvenient for someone else.
Naturally, given, well, you.
Indeed. Imagine my surprise when I finally get here to Atlanta and finally meet someone else willing to stick their neck out for me. Not because they think I can give them something, but because they know what it means to survive.
Having
Like
come
that.
from similar sects, yes.
I
Yeah.
don't know if I'll ever be able to fully convince you. Honestly, at this point, I can't even say if it's truly worth trying, but I'm convinced. I've finally found a home here.
And you're willing
And-
to risk that because these two say that we should?
I don't have any other options, and quite honestly, I don't think you do either, considering this could have been the Second Inquisition all over again. Well, that'd make it the third, I guess, but to be fair, I guess I could keep running, lead the Camarilla somewhere else, but they'd end up here anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, they already have. And I don't know, maybe this is just making it worse, but I've been around a lot of really shitty people and kindred. There's always been one thing that stayed consistent about them, and that's their pride. From what I can tell of Cyril, he takes his pride just about as seriously as he does anything else in this world. He's made, at the very least, a business transaction. And God, fuck, I don't even know anymore.
Okay.
There was... What else could we do in the moment?
That's fair. Now, buttons.
Yes.
Is your persuasion, etiquette, or leadership higher?
Persuasion.
Okay. Is your charisma or manipulation higher?
Charisma.
Okay. Roll charisma and persuasion. You have lowered the required set point considerably.
Okay, so I'm gonna say that's 5 successes. I can spend a willpower to re-roll if I need to.
5 successes is a lot of successes. Originally, I got 7. However, you lowered it by 4. You did a pretty good job, I think. So, you needed 3. You got more than 3. So she kind of smiles a little bit, looks at Vic, and is like, yeah, we know all about pride here. And he's like, and I'm not above setting my pride aside to deal with somebody once or twice. And she kind of looks over at Johnny and is like, so you're going to go along with this, yes? He's like, uh-huh, yeah, sure. Well, it's 4-1. Vic, you should probably do the same as well. And he's like, I can't. I'm going to, but can't. Matter of pride, and I can't put away my pride.
At least give us long enough to figure out what he's got in there.
I'll give you 6 months.
We'll start with that.
That work?
Right, Tory?
I will do what I can.
All right. Also, next time I get to choose the meeting place, it smells like bleach in here.
She'll throw open the surgery door. Yes, because I have to keep this clean.
No, I get that, but I don't like the smell of bleach.
Better than old mortal blood.
This is true. Also better than tanning chemicals. Anyway, y'all do what you're gonna do. I'll lay off for 6 months. We'll reassess. That's all you need. I'm leave. And without any objections, you'll step out the door.
I don't think Tory would have any.
Oh, look, Steven, I think they're just about done. Somebody's leaving.
Johnny's next to go.
She will turn to Carissa. I doubt you will ever trust me for one reason or another. I will have a hard time trusting you. But hopefully there can be at least a working relationship there.
I certainly hope so. I would hate to have issues with somebody that I agreed upon, at least in this particular instance, to work with. I'm not saying that we'll never have disagreements, and I'm not saying that we'll never have...
I'm sure there will be plenty.
Yes. However, for now, you at least have my backing. Don't take that lightly, please. And it's more so Shiloh has my backing and you have it by proxy. I like Shiloh. I get Shiloh. You, I'm still trying to figure out. I've learned a little about you, but not nearly as much as I would like.
And what have you...
I didn't quite get that.
And what have you learned?
You've been in and around this area for quite a while.
A very
That's
long
as far as
time.
I've gotten.
Would knowing anything about me help?
Just so I know exactly where your loyalties lie. If you want previous inhabitants to come back, that'll be an issue. I don't believe you do.
Will do anything to keep them away.
So, the friend that helped out you and Shiloh and Beth and Steven and Kamari just is a here and there acquaintance, or more of an actual friend?
Depends on who you're asking. I feel like he is a friend. However, he also does not want them back.
Does not want them back because they will kill him, or because they will
Doesn't
use
matter.
him? No, it does. Because if it's because they will kill him, it's not necessarily an issue with the ethics behind it. For use, which I feel is more your issue, there's an ethics issue there. I do not like their ethics.
His story is not mine to tell. There is a large resentment there, and I don't think he will be happy to see any of them.
Very well. Tell him, next time you see him, that my door is always open for him. He's more than willing or welcome to come and talk to me if he so chooses.
And why
I'll
do you
even
think he
turn
would
down the
choose to?
If he decides that he wants to be part of our society yet again. And I feel like if anybody's going to be able to talk to him, it's going to be me. From what I gather, he was adept at certain things, as what Kamari said.
Yeah. But if he was going to rejoin our society, as you say, he might be more comfortable with someone he knows instead of someone who used to be Camarilla.
That's fair. Just figured because he left his and I left mine, we could understand each other. And I assume that he's quite old. Could be wrong.
I'll let him know that your door is open.
Thank you. Also, you should, I don't know if you already have, but you should really redecorate. It's kind of drab in here. And she walks out.
I hate dealing with Tory. So much.
has to have that one little jab. And Donte just like, well, that happened. I apologize. I'm gonna get out your hair because I'm sure you probably need a minute. You want the rest of your friends up there?
They want to come.
Is there anybody else that you want to come up here or no?
Any of them that I message can come up here if they want to.
All right. I need to talk to Larry. Trying to figure out why he knows you. I'm sorry.
Mutual friends.
Okay.
Why, do you know him?
Yeah, he got into a sticky spot when I was getting in town, and I helped him out of it. He's kind of a passing friend, passing acquaintance, really. No, he's around. I don't know much about him, though.
I wondered who got him here.
Yeah, no, that was me. Anyway, have a good night. If you need me, you know where I'm at.
I'm sure we'll be in touch.
And he heads out, and he's like, all right, so anybody that's called here from her, you can come up here, apparently, if you want to. And he walks down the stairs, hops in the car, and drives off. At this point, the majority of everybody is gone. However, Winfield makes his way up.
Tory will just be sitting in one of the chairs, just like head in her hands, just like what happened tonight.
He walks in. He walks over to the kitchen. He produces a small tea kettle from his bag. Puts water in it. Starts boiling the water.
Bella's gonna look at Tory with a confused look.
Does Beth and Steven go up?
Well, what do you think, Stevie? Should we go up?
Before we do that, is Amp still there?
Yes.
Can Steven talk to him real quick?
Yep.
So Steven's going to go up and ask him if he knew that if his uncle was looking for him.
Yeah, I'm good. I ain't talking to him.
Alright, my sire was wanting me to drop off that message that he was looking for you.
I appreciate it. I knew about it. I'm not doing what he's going to ask. And if I go see him, he's going to make me like do a whole blood bond thing. Just shit ain't going to happen no more. No. So I'm going to politely decline if you see or hear from or talk to your sire. Let them know, no, thank you. But thanks for the offer.
Okay. I'm pretty sure she also told me to let her know that if I found you, so if you have a place you want to hide, you might want to do that.
Yeah, I got a couple places. Ain't nobody gonna be finding me. Trust me. And he's like, you're Steven, right?
Yeah.
Nice to meet you. Met Tory before. She's not as nice as you. But it's fine. Anyway, I'm gonna go hide now. Because, yeah. Being out in public like this probably isn't the safest thing for me. And he kind of like tips his crappy fedora and starts walking away.
Alright, bye.
Oh, you have a nice chat there, Stevie?
Yep.
Alright, ready to go up?
Yeah, let's go up.
Alright, up we go. Beth will knock knock and go inside. I don't know why she's knocking, but she is.
You come inside right as Winfield is getting done boiling the water. He pours it over a tea bag. Turns around and he's like, "It's been a minute."
Yeah, it has.
And before you ask, Miss, I like the warmth. Obviously not going to drink it. I like the warmth. I like the smell. Reminds me of times past. Reminds me of a good book.
Whatever floats your boat and tickles your pickle.
Let's leave off that last half. Shiloh looks up tiredly at Beth and says,
So
I wasn't expecting you to come, I'll be honest.
Yeah, it was a last minute. I ain't seen her in a while, so let's go ahead and do that. Congratulations, by the way.
Thanks.
If you need something from me, you do know that all you need to do is ask, right?
Yes, I don't like calling in random favors, though. You know that.
Yeah, I get that. It's just one of those things that you don't have to be such a stranger. You don't want to. I get if you're busy.
It's been a busy couple of months.
That's fair. Yeah, I'm not gonna stay too awful long. Just kind of wanted to say congratulations, and if you need something, he kind of looks to everybody else. It's like Winfield Gutman, by the way. Nice to make your acquaintances.
Beth Marks.
Steven.
And he's like, do you mind if I take this glass or this
That's fine.
mug? It's still warm. I'll bring it back in a couple days.
Yeah,
Cleaned and all that fun stuff.
not a big deal. I don't use them much.
Yeah, I feel like it's more so for the very conspicuously missing animals.
Yeah, I've got a new place. I'll give you the address.
No, it's fine. I'll just come here. This one probably shouldn't give the address out to you so much.
This one is known, that's why I'm not here anymore.
That's fair. I still work in the same place if you need me. If you need to come talk.
Yeah, I'll probably be swinging by soon.
Yeah. Also, if you need to get rid of things, I'm still available. So it's funny people don't look at the bottom of caskets. Anyway, have a nice night. And he pours the rest of the water down the drain, walks out with the tea.
So let him go.
Interesting fellow. So how'd things go up here?
It went.
It wasn't as horrible as it could have been. We got their agreement for 6 months.
Starting
I
point.
really don't... Going back on my word is not going to be a good thing. And that's somewhat the position they've kind of forced me into.
Yeah, well, as you have said, Kindred are assholes.
Constantly and unabashedly. I just want all of this to be done. Cyril needs to go away. I wish I'd never met him.
Maybe we can make him our friend. It'll work out, guys. It always works out.
I'm sure
Somehow or
if he and I, like you said to me, I'm sure if we met in different circumstances, he and I probably would have gotten along very well together.
Yeah, but in different circumstances, you and I would not have gotten along.
Probably a fair point. Maybe.
Definitely.
Okay. It's not like I would still be doing that. I didn't have a choice for most of it.
I didn't have a choice for this either, really, but... Anyway, long story short, we got their grudging cooperation. Vic is giving us 6 months to figure out what Cyril's doing with...
Johnny's agreement worries me. It was very flippant.
I mean, in his defense, he's kind of a flippant person to begin with.
He's a very go-with-the-flow kind of guy. He's just gonna go with whoever's got the majority at this point.
I hope that's all it is.
And we are going to end it with one final thing. Shiloh, you get a buzz in your pocket. Phone goes off, and it's an unknown number. And very simply says, "We should talk, have that monitor."
I'll send a thumbs up emoji.
And we're going to end it there for tonight. Wasn't too bad, right?
Emojis
Ooh.
and vibe checks all evening.
Ooh. Going to end the recording. Goodbye, everyone.
Sweet dreams!
Bye.
Good night.
We appreciate you all for joining us in our Vampire Chronicle. With our after-game care concluded, us here at Total Party Krit thank you for all of your views, likes, and follows. If you have any questions for our resident vampires or storyteller, please drop them in a comment below or in any of our social media. Links to those and our Discord will be down below. The world is a crazy place, so stay safe, and we hope to see you again.